let's go back to this one that I had on here from Govcon Giants. Now I can't find it. All right, let me find it. Give me a second. And I'll look. I can't read the comments while we're talking, so I'll look up in a minute. But feel free to put your questions in there, because then when I get to that page, we'll take a look at it. So let's go back to this IDIQ. All right, and then let's look at the requirements, and it talks about the requirements. Now, also on our page, because people still are emailing me, Eric, how do I get a copy of a sources sought, the sample, the template? On our page, Govcon Giants Resources, sources sought notice, template, right here. Look, click download. You don't have to put your name in here. We're not collecting the data. Here it is. Boom. Here's the template right here. We're not asking for your name. We're not collecting any data on you. You can get this free of charge. Costs you nothing. Take advantage of your resources. I know maybe I should charge $50 and maybe you guys will start paying for it. You feel better. But right now it's free of charge. Maybe I'll start charging $50 and people realize the value behind this stuff. Let me show you something. I'm going to go over here to another page because I want to show you something. Here, all right, look, this is the same one. Here's the same template that I give you. Same template, right? This is a template that I use. Okay, makes sense. Now, I don't know how to do the split screen between the PDF and the actual, hold on. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Yeah. Maybe next time I'll do a split screen between my PDF and the actual Windows page. But for now, we'll just go back and forth. Over here on the Windows page, it talks about, right? So the instructions read, you want to list between 3 and 5 projects, right? And tells you how to determine relevant projects. So then, if you were to look at the example that I've provided here for you, where are you at? I got a lot of screens up. Okay, if you were to look at this sample, right? At the top, we have our letterhead, right? And what I'll do, I'm going to start off by showing you the template that I gave you, and then we're going to show you how today, like that was 2013 because I was doing this in 2013, but we're going to show you fast forward till 2019, 2020, we're using the same template, just different names. So again, it's a template, right? Which tells you what they were doing sources sought back then. So again, here is one I respond to for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, District, Little Rock, Arkansas. Please, please, please use the template, okay? You feel free to change it, but use the template. Give them at least what they're asking for. All right, so we've got our dates. We've got who's attention to. We've got our reference. Fair enough, right? We got those things. That's easy for most people. We get that. All right. Let me go back between this browser and the other one. All right. So again, we've got, here's our title. Got a notice ID. We know who we're making out to, NAVFAC command. All right. Because again, and I would agree with everyone. Here it doesn't tell you what to submit. So I understand when people say, well, Eric, I don't know what to submit because it doesn't tell you a format. Right? There's nowhere on here where it says format. It just says, give me this information. So I can understand why, naturally people would be confused. That's why we're doing this for you. So here it is. Here's a format. Here's your reference document, to whom it may concern, your company, a little bit of history about your company goes in here, right? The blurb. Goes in there. And then on ours, it says submittal requirements. So on ours, what happens is, and we'll give you some different examples. We say we have a team that has experience, da da da, and then we listed our company profile. So how many employees, office locations. Now, on this particular opportunity, it does not ask you to list that. So that's not a requirement. All right. So on this particular opportunity, it does not ask you to list anything about your employees. However, hold on, I just read something. Where is it at? Okay, here in this paragraph, is my big head in the way? No. All right, in this paragraph, it says, if the requirement is advertised as small business, you must perform at least 15% of the cost of the contract, not including the materials with your own employees. So in that regard, it may be advantageous, again, depending on how strong you are, to list this, but it's not a requirement. Here we list our office location, our single bonding capacity, aggregate bonding capacity, DUNS number, cage code. Always put your DUNS number, cage code on everything. Why did we put our bonding capacity? Because going back to this page, they talked about doing projects that were the magnitude, right? It says here, demonstrate your capacity for bonding 100 to 250 million. Obviously, we would be on this one. Responsible office. All right, small business designation. So again, going back over to the full page, it says at the top, right? Oh, nope. Yep. If you're a small disadvantaged business, service disabled, hub zone, etc. So we checked that box, okay, here. And then it talks about, we mentioned our responsible office and a contact person. I was a contact person at the time. And then now we get into relevant experience, right? So if we go back over here, what it mentioned was the source of sought information was used to document 3 and up to 5 relevant projects. Are we starting to see how this makes sense? Relevant experience, relevant projects. Okay. And then it tells you, it defines what relevant is. So in your write-up, you want to make sure that here you're outlining contract value, right? That's why we outline contract value. We outline point of contact, and we do a little bit about the scope. Why? Because going back to over here, it says scope and complexity. All right, your scope and complexity, you shall demonstrate the following items. New projects. If your project submitted only include horizontal work, then you will not be considered. So when you're over here and you're writing in terms of your scope, you've got to make sure that you include vertical construction, right? So under my scope, I would write, design and erect 17 metal aircraft sunshade structures, a fully electrical overhead and bay lights. Even though it says erect, where does it talk about vertical construction? I would make sure to explicitly state vertical construction under this particular project. And then I list my relevant experience, right? And then we went out, we listed some relevant experience. In our case, we listed what? Let me see. How many did we give? We gave 1, 2, 3. I think we gave like 7. But on this particular, oops, sorry guys. On this particular requirement, it says list no more than 5. So I would do what they said and list no more than 5. Right? Now, there is a contract information form and a project information form. Make sure you fill that out. I'm just talking about if it did not have any additional forms or documents, then this is what I would submit.